Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to League of Europe. We are here for round 9 of the Championship. It's Season 5 as we take in the Singaporean Grand Prix from the streets of the Marina Bay Street Circuit. My name is James Hay, going to be taking you through the stream as always, and joining me in the commentary box, it is Mr. Daniel Field. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing brilliant as always, and we're here in Singapore at the Marina Bay Street Circuit, as of course James mentioned. 23 turns on this circuit. We are now past the halfway point of the season, and this is the last race in the calendar before the week's break, so we won't be here next Saturday. So they've got to make the most of this one before the break, really.
We've got a week's break next week? Oh my god. I didn't even know. That's a shock to begin the stream off. I didn't know. I thought we were going straight into next week. Oh well. Week's break for everyone then next week, which is fantastic, and I need that. I definitely need that. I've done... I'll let you in for a bit of a secret. I've been doing commentary. This is my 6th straight night of commentary.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. But less of me, the better. M Short still leads the championship lead on 109 points coming into tonight. Has fallen by the wayside a little bit. Montana, of course, picking up his second win last week in France in second in a real cracker of a race, of course. D Daniel there in third on 92 points as well. And just speaking about the top three there, Dan, M Short has only got a 17-point gap over D Daniel. He's got 16 points over Montana. Is the championship now beginning to get closer, and is Montana finding his form?
I think the tides are definitely beginning to turn in the way of the championship. M Short's not been on the podium since round 4 in Russia. He's on 109 points at the moment. Montana on 93, of course, the maximum 25 points last time out. I don't believe he got the fastest lap, otherwise that would have been an X point to his tally if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think Montana in the recent weeks, he has really come alive. And he's certainly put on the pressure to M Short. He's jumped his teammate as well now, so he is in second position in the championship. But given how dreadful his start to the season was by his standards, he's really he's picked up the form massively.
He has picked up the form massively, but it's still quite consistent in terms of the performances behind him. Out on track, we've got Verstappen in 4th on 72 points, Zhao Zhao 5th on 67, Alpha Trick 6th on 58. He didn't race last week. Campbell in 7th on 50, Connor 8th on 44, Land on 9th on 43, and Justas even in 10th on 41 points. We're going to have to get used to that name pronunciation, I know. Neo in 30 on 35 points on 11th, with Rocco in 12th on 27. Hardy and Name Changer tied for 13th on 23. Vaporizer in 15th on 21. Kazizzle again not racing tonight in 16th on 15. Ewan is not racing either in 17th on 10. Toxic in 18th on 7. It's his birthday today, yesterday by the way, so happy birthday Toxic. Late belated birthday from all of us here at League of Europe. Kumbly in 19th on 6. Kuki Games in 20th on 5, and Chaplelian Yulbream, of course, picking up his first point in a very eye-catching debut, I've got to say, in France. They're on 2 points. Looking at the constructor standings as well, Racing Point dominating, of course. They've got 2nd and 3rd in the standings, and the drivers, they're on top of the league in terms of the constructors. 185 points the gap, with McLaren in 2nd on 144, Renault in 3rd on 122. The gap between Racing Point and McLaren, by the way, is 41 points. Renault in 3rd, as I say, on 122, Red Bull 4th on 102, Alfa Romeo 5th on 98, Mercedes in 6th on 66, Williams in 7th on 46, Haas in 8th on 34, Ferrari in 9th on 29, and AlphaTauri in 10th on 17 points. Nearly made the same mistake as Mr. David Croft did earlier on, saying Toro Rosso instead of AlphaTauri, but there we are. Racing Point, though, leading out on track in the constructors, and you've got to say Montana and D Daniel, they've been picking up a lot better results compared to the guys at McLaren.
Yeah, they streaked away massively last week in France. Of course, 40 points going to the Racing Point team, a double podium for the Pink Panther outfit. Only 11 points going back to McLaren, but even so, a little fun fact about the two McLaren boys, M Short and Neo. They are the only drivers in this season who have finished in the points every single race. As in, like, every race that we've started. Of course, you could argue that Yulbream is one of those, but he's only done one race, so we can't really count him in that one. But yeah, they are consistent. I think Neo really does need to sort of assert his claim a little bit more. He's in 11th in the standings, and I certainly think he needs a higher position than he's been picking up if McLaren really want to come back at Racing Point, who are looking oh so strong at the moment.
Yeah, he needs to reclaim his dominance, I think, from pre-season. I know we won in China, I think it was, in pre-season, where obviously he picked up the win. Everyone was quite inconsistent, I've got to say, then in pre-season. We now get our focus shifted towards qualifying here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit, as Dan has said. 23 turns around a 5-kilometre circuit, and this could be one, if not the best race of the season. And it's yours truly's 100th commentary in LOE as well tonight, so I'm hoping that everyone does have a very good race out on track and provides the action for us. If not, I'm going to be left going home very disappointed.
Yeah, I really hope they can have a good race out there. But what an accolade! 100 commentaries in League of Europe. You're going to have a good night, regardless of how the race goes. So I think you want to treat yourself to an alcoholic beverage of some sort in later, really.
Well, I don't drink alcohol, that's the main thing, so that is going to be out the window. I have got myself, though, a lovely, if you had the face cam on me, by the way, I've got a lovely diluted drink that I'm going to be having during the course of commentary as well to keep my voice parched, hopefully from the action out on track. We see then, qualifying about to begin. We are now within the lobby, and one thing to notice, it is dry out on track. Of course, we're running at the official time period here in Singapore, but Singapore has had its fair share of action in the past in terms of wet races. 2017 down into turn 1.
Oh dear, what an eventful one that was, where the Ferrari made the bold claim that Verstappen took out Kimi Raikkonen and then he went into Sebastian Vettel. It was the other way around or something, but if I do recall, that was Vettel's fault. Hopefully, for the driver's sake, they won't be dealing with the wet tyres at all tonight. I know last night in PC it was a wet qualifying, and the less said about that race for me, the better, because, well, it ended at turn number 1. Cookie Games the first out on circuit. He's got a racing point behind him, presumably of Montana. I can see D. Daniels 10 in the pit lane. Montana's second out on circuit. He's got a right behind him. But these guys are going to be warming up the tyres on their out laps, and then they're going to be going for their banker times.
Yeah, I'm going to FaceTime call, by the way, with my girlfriend, which is quite inappropriate during commentary. Cookie Games, though, is out on top. Montana currently out on track in second position. I think he's actually just been overtaken by Alfa Romeo out on track. Cookie Games, though, is coming down in towards the Singapore Sling. Of course, the Singapore Sling used to be a chicane. They narrowed it down just to a left-hander, and then we come across the Anderson Bridge section. So really hoping that Cookie Games, of course, can deliver a very good performance out on track. And we're definitely hoping that for sure, as the Williams will be hoping to try and get a very good lap in. I better go and message my girlfriend before she gets very angry at me that I'm not answering her call. So I'll be back in about a minute.
So Cookie Games just at the moment warming up the tyres, coming through the third sector where none of the corners actually have any names, which I find quite interesting. But yeah, just coming under this tunnel section, there's been quite a lot of controversy down here. I recall Felipe Massa crashing into the wall down there at some point in his time at Ferrari, but we'll come through turn number 21 here for Cookie Games. He's about to start up on his lap, and we'll go on board with him for the entirety of it. Here he is now on the run up towards turn number 1. You want to take this around about 4th gear, taking it very quickly, and he's taking that quite nicely in towards 2 and 3, and then this short little kink, it actually is considered to be a corner, as coming through turn number 5, now kissing the apex and running out wide for the Rafaels Boulevard. He's got a Alfa Romeo car just in front of him. That's either Sweet Crown returning to the league, and yeah, it's Sweet Crown. He's not been here since China, but it's a 25.9 sector 1 for Cookie Games. He's looking really aggressive on this lap. He did have a slight mistake out of turn number 3, but so far he's looking pretty strong in towards turn number 9 and up towards the famous former death chicane of the Singapore Sling, taking it through in 3rd gear, really revving down the car and up towards the Anderson Bridge, where Mark Webber's car actually got parked once because it was all of the lights and chargers and whatever around it just completely screwed his gearbox over. Really interesting stuff there in towards the 2nd sector split from Cookie Games. He's done a 101.9 here, so he's looking really nice and tidy. Pretty easy place to invalidate on the exit there, even though it doesn't look like it. And through a very tricky part of the circuit to nail, where the walls are closed in on you, like that one scene from Star Wars, under the grandstand and up towards the third sector through turn 20 comes Cookie Games now. He's about to be the first driver to put in a lap at the moment. He's got Zhao Zhao and Montana just behind him, coming through the final corner, and right here, turn 23, and it's going to be a 33.2 to start us off.
Yeah, very good lap time. Jaja goes 3/10 behind him as well. Montana, though, goes straight to the top of the standings with a 132.6 out on track. Rocco was invalidated. He's going to be one of the next to come across the line. Justas in fourth with a 133.3. Campbell's just gone third. Former winner, of course, Campbell around here. I think it was last season where he picked up the win. A 133.261. He has gone third. Rocco's then into the pit lane. Hardy then coming through the final couple of corners. Toxic, the birthday boy from a couple of days ago, goes fifth. Verstappen goes second. Hardy ran the final corner, goes fourth, 133.224. Everyone's seemingly liking the 133.2s at the minute.
Yeah, they're all quite far off the pace in comparison to Montana. Verstappen, who's in second at the moment, is almost 4.5 tenths off of Montana at this point, so he's really come out in style tonight. But I'm on board with Neo. There's actually M. Short just coming through the final sector ahead of his teammate. We'll see if he can maybe be the one to challenge Montana. And there it is, he goes to the top by 10 hundredths of a second. I got it there and eventually.
10 hundredths of a second to 10th.
That's a 10%. Oh,
100th of a second. Yeah, 1/100th of a second, as I normally say. I'm sure that on top of Montana in second. I think Neo actually invalidated on his time. Actually, he has set a lap time of 1:34 flat, not getting a respectful lap time in. Yilbring, by the way, is in the AlphaTauri tonight, out on track. He just came out the pit lane. Sweet Crown is coming through the final sector now, through 16 and through 17, where PK Gate, of course, happened in 2008, the first inaugural running, of course, around here with Singapore. It will be the 13th year this year, if it goes ahead, of course, due to the pandemic, that the track will be on the F1 calendar. So now Sweet Crown comes in towards the final couple of corners through 22 and 23. It's a good lap actually by Sweet Crown. Comes across the line and he goes 11th to 133.5, puts him just ahead actually of his teammate.
Yeah, it seems like the first wave of laps are done at the moment. It's just pulled into the pit lane. It was out for a lap, but it seems like he's invalidated on that one, so he won't be going out on that run. It seems like the first driver up on that out lap might be, I think it's Connor, perhaps, coming through the third sector. He's just started it here. He'll be the next driver to begin up on a lap, and, well, performance last time out in front. Something to behold. Some of the best overtakes I'd seen in my time with the League of Europe were made by Connor in that French Grand Prix. Yeah,
but you have to draw back the curtain a little bit to last season of League of Europe Formula 2. Yes, it's Formula 2, but Rocco around this track completed an insane move, going around 3 drivers round the outside of the first corner, and me and Daniel Hoggard literally were just like in awe of that move. Let's see what Connor's going to do then on this lap as he comes now through turn 1, through turn 2, and through turn 3. It's really on the limit coming through there. Now out of turn 3, and then through the kink at turn 4. Gets caught on the outside cover, can spin the car. I have seen drivers been it there before, as he now comes through turn 5. Very nice and attacking on the power. Doesn't look like the greatest first sector in the history of the Singapore Grand Prix at the minute, but Connor coming through the first sector to 25.8 and actually goes purple and actually clips the wall just on the exit in towards Memorial Corner at 7. Goodness me, that was very close to the wall. Just unsettled the car slightly. Now coming through turn 8 and then through turn 9, this left-hander, and then coming up towards turn number 10. He's got a car in front of him out on track, which actually is his teammate Alphatrix, who is back after a week's layoff. So now Connor comes through the Singapore's thing, through turn 11, and then right on the limit coming there, through the Anderson Bridge section, across the across into the hairpin at turn 13, and then on the run towards 14. Alphatrix gets swiftly out of the way to the left-hand side. Connor's on a really good middle sector here, comes around the into the middle sector to 101.5. It's purple in the middle sector once again. So let's see what Connor can do into the final sectors. He's now coming through 16 and then in towards 17. That's 16. This is 17, and now coming under the grandstand section. There's the marina straight to the right-hand side of the driver's view. As he now comes through 18, underneath 19, and then underneath the underpass in towards 20 and 21. And then Connor is absolutely flying his way up towards the standing door, and he's coming into the pit lane. Absolute typical. Connor was on a very good lap there, I've got to say. If he committed that, he could have gone third, I think.
Well, I'm a bit upset about that one, but Yildirim's just gone to the top with a
What?
32.6. He's come out of nowhere with that one lap there, and he's really shocked us there. I'm almost lost for words talking about Yildirim, but he's been really strong in qualifying. I believe he got about 4th on the grid last time out in France in his debut race, and now he's put it on provisional pole in that AlphaTauri.
I am absolutely shocked by that. Yildirim to the top of the standings. 25 first sectors, the man we're on board with coming through the Memorial Corner. Then through turn 8, have got Zhao Zhao and Rocco also on lap times, I believe. Rocco, I think, might be furthest on, so we'll see in his progress very soon as now Alphatrix comes through in towards the Singapore's thing at turn 10, and then towards turn 11, and then towards the Anderson Bridge once again. Hops over the curb nicely, coming through turn 12, and then in towards 13 at the hairpin, getting very, very close to the wall on the right-hand side. Rocco, by the way, goes 4th with the 1:33 flat, so good lap time there by Rocco ahead of Verstappen. Alphatrix through the middle sector is flying on this lap time, a 101.3 through the middle sector from Alphatrix, and he's responding to Connor's lap time. 0.2 of a second it was, of course, that Alphatrix is now ahead of Connor in terms of his middle sector. It was a little bit shoddy out of there. Now coming through turn 18 and getting very close to the wall through there. Coming through 19 and then again underneath the underpass through 20 and 21, of course. Season 3 champion Alphatrix here in Liga Group Division 1 just clips the curb on the wall slightly on the exit, but I tell you what, Alphatrix is on a flyer. Comes across the line, he goes second with a 1:32.625, and that is a very good lap time and just warns M. Short and Montana that Alphatrix might be down, but he's certainly not out.
Yeah, the top 4 separated by exactly 0.5 of a second. Unbelievable gaps here in League of Europe Division 1. Alphatrix going into 2nd position. I'm trying to find if there's anyone far up on a lap. Toxic, unfortunately, invalidating on his run. I think Daniel, he's in the 3rd sector. He is on a medium. He's on a set of medium tyres actually on his outlap here. So that leads me to believe furthest driver up on a run, it's going to be one of the Williams cars, and it's Justas. He's 0.5 up on his lap at the moment. Could put him somewhat up the grid actually. Yeah, really high up the order into up the reaches of the top 5. Justas coming through the final sector here, just through turns 21 and this double apex of 22 and 23 here, really right on the limit there. He got into 5th position. He's at 32.7. That puts him just shy of 1.5 tenths off the pace, and there's a Verstappen going in 2nd.
And now Montana coming through the final corner could defeat them all. Oh, what a final sector that is! A 1:32.4. He was 200ths down coming out the middle sector. He's getting nearly 3 tenths, and Montana stamps his authority over this qualifying session. And with 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go, Montana normal service has resumed in Division 1 as M. Short goes quickest.
Yeah, well, he stuck it to Montana there, really, and wow, these two having a brilliant fight with it. This is what we want to see. We want to see the 2 championship rivals fighting out the top of the order, and well, that is the fight that we are going to get. Connor through the 1st sector is looking pretty clean, a lot more tidy than he was on his previous run, where he still looked like he was on for a really nice time. A little bit off camber through turn number 9 there, and in towards turn number 10, up towards the Anderson Bridge. He's alright, you know, on this run so far.
Yeah, he's not looking too bad. Comes across the Anderson Bridge section, coming through into 13. Just locking up slightly. He lost the rear end slightly, and that's where you mentioned he went off camber of the corner, and he just went wide. That's why I went, ooh, coming through that corner. What a 1.2 though in the middle sector. If that's anything like Montana's lap time, this could be very, very quick from Connor out on track. He's got to now nail these final couple of corners through 16 and again in towards 17. He's got to be careful, of course. Those tyres might wear towards the end. He just picks up the marbles on the right hand side tyre as he now comes through 18 and then in through 19, catches the curb on the inside slightly, coming through 20 and then through 21. Doesn't give him the best exit, if I've got to be honest, out of there. But now Connor coming around. I don't think he's going to go pole, but comes across the line. And what does the commentator know? He goes pole with a 1:32.3.
Yeah, really strong there from Connor. He goes 200ths ahead of M. Short in this one. These three really going at it in qualifying, trading the top position. But we've got a Red Bull on pole in F1 and on provisional pole with 5 minutes to go. We've got a Red Bull on pole, so it seems like history is repeating itself, a bit like a Red Bull name changer. Unfortunately, is invalid on his run. Sweet Crown not pushing on a lap either, which means Daniel also not pushing. It seems like everyone in the pit lane just going to be prepping for their final laps at this point, unless I'm proved wrong by Yulbrim, who's unfortunately invalidated on his lap, and he won't be pushing there. So yeah, everyone is going to be on, well, they'll be fitting their new tyre. We go for their final push lap.
Yeah, there will be, and Lando's actually on a push lap. He's going through the Anderson Bridge section now, coming across through turn 11, then through 12, and then in towards this hairpin at turn 13. It was 800s up through the first sector, and this middle sector has actually looked quite quick from Lando, as he now comes in towards this middle sector split, comes across 3 tenths up, 4 tenths up nearly by Lando, so he's there or thereabouts in terms of the likes of Zhao Zhao perhaps, but the likes of Campbell, Justas as well in 7th. Watch out, because Lando is going to gain quite a lot of positions here on this lap. So now comes in towards the grandstand section, through 18, then through 19. A little bit slow through there, just lost a little bit of time. So now comes through turn 20, and then through turn 21, and do you know what? I think he might have backed off this. And he's coming into the pit lane, and he well and truly has backed off that lap time. And just to rub salt into the wound, the invalidator coming into the pit lane.
Yeah, that is fortunate for Lando. It did seem like he was on a decent enough time and he was going to improve. But yeah, he just backed off at the end, and I think he's probably thought, you know what, I'll come in, I'll change my tyres, I'll refuel the car, and I'll go once again. There's drivers coming out for an early outlap, especially Verstappen. He's in the second sector at the moment on his outlap. He might have fueled up the car for 2 runs, which isn't really advisable around Singapore, given how drastic the tyre wear is around here, but maybe he just wants to do it to avoid the traffic. Got 3 minutes left to go, so he has got time to put in 2 runs. But yeah, Verstappen going to be the first driver who's will be taking us through on their really final push lap here.
Yeah, Nolan, by the way, saying in the Discord that Division 1 is saucy. It's even more saucy when you've got a saucy commentary team as well taking you through the action. Well, we'll see. We'll see about that one. Verstappen now coming onto his lap, coming out of turn 22 and 23. Went out wide through 23, but now sets about on his lap and right on board for the entirety of this lap through Verstappen. There's Montana, I think, just coming out the pit lane to the left-hand side through turn 1 and 2, and then through turn 3. I think he was part of Jav's instincts. Verstappen was tipped up along with Campbell, so the 2 QVR guys will be hoping to try and get a good qualifier in there. 5th and 9th currently in the Renault, runs wide coming out of turn 5, but nearly hitting the wall. There's the yellow flag just ahead of him. That's a Haas going slow. That might be toxic possibly on an lap. It is toxic, and he's 900s up through the first sector as Verstappen coming out through Memorial Corner at turn 7. Then in towards turn 8. It's very hard braking zone into turn 8, but Verstappen flying through there as he now comes out through turn 9, and we'll see on the run down towards the Singapore Sling how good this lap time is actually going to be. He is up on mule bream, so he's going to go 4th at this theoretical stage in qualifying with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. Verstappen now coming across the Anderson Bridge, and we're right back on board with him as he comes across this section through 12 and then in towards the hairpin at 13. Gets the car nicely controlled into the corner and powers out on the exit of the corner. Verstappen coming through the middle sector, so 101.3's 300s up actually on his time, so he's barely improving, but this final sector can make or break a lap, and the Dutchman will be hoping for a really good lap as he locks up into 16. Now coming through 17 and then in towards turns 18 and 19 underneath the grandstand section. Oh, getting the car control. He might just back out of that one because I think he might have just scrubbed away the time that he gained through the middle sector. Now coming through 21 and now coming up towards the final 2 corners at 22 and 23, and he backs off and he's into the pit lane. Verstappen was never happy, I think, and that just correction in towards turn 18, what cost him?
Yeah, really unfortunate from Verstappen there, really confirming that he's out qualifying just by retiring it, so he gets the full spectatorship of, it seems like Cohen Bly is the furthest driver up on a lap, and he was pushing, but he's got an AlphaTauri in front of him. Yulbury might be sent to the stewards for that one, if Cohen Bly was pushing on that lap.
Oh, and Neo.
He got blocked. And Neo as well.
He's into the pit lane. That's it. Cohen Bly into the pit lane. Neo, a lot of traffic on the final laps there from the guys. I think one of the first drivers that I spotted was Zhao Zhao, who was on a lap 500th of a second down and towards the Singapore Sling up on his time. Alpha Trix as well, invalidated by the way, so he's just gone on to another lap, or will be going on to another lap as he comes out, I think, through the final couple of corners. Yeah, he's just on a lap now, as Zhao Zhao is going to be one of the first to fully set a time out on tracks. He now comes out through the middle sector, and he's 2 tenths up, so Zhao Zhao really responding to a little little bit of pressure, and hopefully the Dane can try and improve as he can now comes through in towards 16 and 17. Time is now up on qualifying for Kuhn Bly. Zhao Zhao then through turn 17, just scrubbed off the speed a little bit, coming through 18, and then in towards turn 19. One out wide to get the maximum run through the corner, through 20 and then through 21, and Zhao Zhao really on the limit, nearly in the wall on the right hand side as now he comes out through the final corner. I don't think it's going to be pole. Zhao Zhao will improve though, and he goes up to 7th with a 132.625, so good lap from him. Alphatrix has backed off his lap as well. Yulbream is one of the next, I think, to come across on. We're going to see a lot of improvements, however, in the final sector. Oh, as Montana clips the wall out of the final corner. He's surely not going to improve, is he? Montana comes across the line, and he's gone pole! How on earth's he done that? Montana hits and clouts the wall, but look at M Short. M Short down through the final corner, and he's going to get pulled, surely. It's a 132.1. Connor is a 10th up as well, and Connor now comes through the final couple of corners. He's on the limit, and he goes second, and he's 13 hundredths of a second off. Yulbream is a 10th up as well, coming out the final corner, comes across the line. He goes 4th at a 132.4. Alphatrix has backed off his lap. Campbell is coming into the pit lane. Rocco then is stopping just before the line. He doesn't want to improve. He's in 11th position. Kuki Games is 5/10 up actually on his lap. Kuki Games comes across the line, and he backs off on his lap. He barely improved as Hardy goes up into 11th. Lando across the line to go 14th as well. And that is the end of qualifying. And what drama. M Short on top, a 132.169. Connor in second with a 132.182. 13 hundredths of a second separating the top two. And Montana in third. Who said it wasn't easy in qualifying?
Unbelievable. The gaps are so close over such a long circuit like Singapore. Extortionate gaps between the pair of them there. And as Campbell just wheeled into the garage, he's probably starting in the worst position of 10th right now. With done with qualifying, the results are on the screen. You want to be outside the top 10, I'd say.
Yeah, want to be outside the top 10 because, of course, this is a high degradation circuit. And we'll speak about strategy and everything in just a second. But M Short out on top, bit of a voice crack there. M Short out on top from Connor in second, Montana in third, Yulbream in fourth, 3/10 of a second dead on, separating the top four with Justas in fifth, Verstappen in sixth, Alphatrix only 6,000ths off a second off Verstappen, Zhao Zhao in eighth as well, 4/10 down, but a good improvement from him on his lap. Toxic in ninth, Campbell in 10th, Hardy, Rocco, Kuhn Bly, Lando, Kuka Games top 15, Chapelletti, Danger, the only one not to get a lap time in. The whole field separated by 1.2 seconds, but really, there's only two drivers to really talk about in qualifying. M Short and Connor, just a class above the rest, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely, and that really does beg the question as well. Where would Montana be if he didn't pick up that wing damage? That surely lost him about a 10th or two, maybe. He could have been fighting for pole in the end of it. I don't know why we've not been ushered into the next session. Normally we would have.
There we go. Oh, Toxic left the session.
Oh dear. Birthday boy not having the best of days then, hopefully. He got a blue screen. Oh dear. And he says he went too fast, and that's because he's starting in 9th position. So yeah, starting inside the top 10, you have to start on the tyre that you qualified on. If you're outside the top 10, you get the free choice of tyres. But here's the thing, track position is not everything around here because, of course, the tyres are so terrible, really, around the circuit, especially the softs. They die out in a number of laps, and they're going to have to take hards all the way to the end. The mediums to hard strategy is just so much better in this one.
Yeah, hard strategy, definitely. One stop surely going to be on probably for the soft runners, you would imagine. Toxic, though, just saying about him, he accidentally went too fast. He went too fast, I think, and then he got a blue screen just to rub salt into the wounds, which I'm afraid to say is very, very true in Toxic's case. And he went 9th in qualifying, so it is a bit of a disaster for him to start on a wearing set of soft compounder tyres. Of course, if we had the TAS system available like we normally do, I normally do certainly in TTML, we would see actually that the tyres are on 0%. They're not. I'll tell you now, they're not. They're going to be on probably about 10-11% worn, I would imagine, in terms of the tyres. So they're going to be really struggling out on track. Toxic has just joined the session within the just before the formation lap, so hopefully there is not going to be any any issues in terms of a lobby restart or anything like that. So we remain to be seen whether that will be the case. But we're about to get going then into the formation app. Of course, if you do want to tune in for other leagues as well, Division 3 and Division 4 also live alongside us here in Division 1. 31 laps awaiting these drivers out on track. The Singapore Grand Prix is about to begin, and now we're on the formation lap.
Yep, and I'm not surprised looking at the tyres. Everyone outside the top 10, not a red tyre in sight. Hardy, Lando, Neo and Sweet Crown. All the drivers opting for the mediums. They're going to be very, very quick in the early portions of this race, but they will not last as long as the drivers on the set of hard compound tyres, those including Rocco, Cohen Bly, Cookie Games, Chapelele, D. Daniel, all the way down in 17th. From third in the championship, realistically, he should be at least 11th if he was aiming for the alternate strategy. Well, I guess 12th as well, you know, give him a little bit of leeway, but name changer starting at the back, he was not able to put in a lap whatsoever. He'll be starting on the hard compounder tyres right at the rear of the field.
He is indeed, and there he is in the Ferraris behind Sweet Crown, who of course returns after a couple of weeks layoff, I believe. He did join for one of the races so far this season, did Sweet Crown. Neo on a set of mediums just ahead of him as well. So they're going to be probably the guys to watch, you would imagine, along with Hardy, along with Lando as well. Both going for a set of medium competitor tyres. Now, normally, the middle of the road strategy tends to be the one that works around here. I've seen drivers get towards like 30 laps sometimes in terms of their tyres, and then they're still quite fresh towards the end of the race. That got removed, of course, for this game. So the middle of the road strategy in terms of Hardy and Lando being on a set of mediums, as well as Neo and Sweet Crown, I think that will work, because they're going to a set of hard compounded tyres. Is that Toxic's AI, by the way, just completely stopped going through. Oh, and Toxic AI, in fact, has completely stopped out on track, and he's got going. I'm not sure if he's trying to take control of the car. I don't think he can until the start. Hopefully Toxic hopefully Toxic will just pull off to the side and hopefully not cause any issues. But M. Short is already coming through in towards turn 18 and 19. Just in terms of the strategy though, Dan, Hardy and Lando, both on a set of medium compound tyres, you would imagine they're going to be the ones to try and make their way up the field if they're not stuck in a DRS train. Yeah,
they'll probably be a little bit dropped by the soft runners right at the beginning, but around about lap 3, lap 4, that's when the mediums sort of overtake the softs. They lost that little. It was a bit of a car park here at the at turn 23, but yeah, Hardy and Lando, those are the two to watch out for, the two Silver Arrows, the Mercedes cars. They'll be coming out the field hard and fast.
Bray out on top from Miami in second, and Peter in third, by the way, in Division 3. Division 4 just about to begin as well. Sabinio, Brandon and Harry Omar, that guy, the Greek guy. Yeah. Final couple of drivers now rejoining out on track. I hope you get what I mean by that. Anyways, we are about to get going, and there's the view from the Halo cam running down in towards turn 1. M-Shot will be hoping to try and get as good of a start as possible out on track, and hopefully we are going to get into the lobby. I hope that Toxic has not glitched it. I think we might be waiting for Toxic actually to ready up. He did say his PS4 was acting weird. I wonder if that's the case. I think if actually Toxic leaves, we should be ready to go. We should be going very soon, but we are stuck on the grid. But a beautiful camera as we look down in towards turn 1. It's one of the shortest runs down in towards turn 1 on the F1 calendar here in Singapore. And M-Shot will be hoping to try and defeat that man there. And there is the run from Connor's perspective. He's on the dirty side of the grid. You can see the marbles there on the left-hand side. The cleaner side of the grid is on the right-hand side where M-Short and Montana are. And they'll be hoping to try and get as good of a start as possible. And I believe it is due down to Toxic joining that we are getting this delay to the race start.
He's got yeah, I think he took control of the car on the formation lap, which you're not able to do. You have to wait until you have to wait until the lights actually go out and the race is underway. Otherwise, it completely glitches it. But it's not fair.
We're having a restart.
Yeah, it's not fair to blame Toxic for that. You have to blame Codemasters really, as he's just left. And it doesn't seem like the issue has been fixed at all. But yeah, they're going to restart because the tyre temperatures are completely screwed. So yeah, we'll be restarting this one.
I've left the session so I don't have to restart my game either. So there we are. Hopefully we'll be able to get back in. I'm sure Verstappen, our lobby host, will get us back underway very soon indeed. Probably going to be about a 5 or 10 minute delay, you would imagine, between the races here as we communicate up into our online services. So with the race restart being delayed, we are going to be now talking endlessly for the next 10 minutes or so. So I hope you are prepared for a bit of off-track action, as opposed. But M Short, hoping to try and get a really good start, just speak about the dirty and the clean side of the grid, because M Short is on the clean side of the grid on the right hand side, and you would imagine he'll get the better start. But Connor's on the marbles on the left hand side. How difficult is it to try and get traction from the marbles on the left hand side, especially on the dirty side of the grid?
It is, yeah, I'd say it's quite difficult to really get the better start. I normally find when I'm watching races on Singapore that the driver on the right hand side of the track is probably the quicker out the blocks, and I've definitely seen some jumps from third position into the lead, well, not into the lead, but into at least second position. So you got to watch out for Montana in terms of that. Of course, he's had some really good starts in the past, and I'd imagine he's going to try and do so as well. But yeah, that top three are really going to have a good race. I hope that they are going to be scrapping it out for quite some time in this one. And well, just quickly, now that we're having the restart, the soft runners are a little bit saved here. They're more able to run their strategy with less caution, I suppose, because they haven't got that wear from qualifying. That doesn't carry over into the new session, so they do have to start on the same compound, but at least they're not going to have that a little bit of additional wear on top.
And it gives a little bit of an equal footing, I've got to say, over the race as well, because otherwise you would have had drivers pitting in on the soft compound tyres, the top 10 certainly, pitting in earlier than the guys in behind. And that would have just split up the race, I would think, completely. In terms of the soft guys now, these guys could probably get another 3 laps possibly out of their tyres because they are starting clean. Everyone starts on 0% tyres, which means everyone has got a fresh set of softs, mediums or hards to play with coming into tonight. Spag, by the way, is saying, I'm getting so aired right now. He asks also how we're doing and who's going to get the win tomorrow. Well, I'm a Verstappen fan, and I was over the moon to see him on pole position, so I think Verstappen will win. How about you, Dan?
I think free tomorrow. He's the most talented driver on the grid, and he's got the alternate strategy on his side as well. So Antonio Giovinazzi winning tomorrow.
We have just been given the invites, by the way, to the lobby. You saw a bit of a blue screen there, but we are now getting into the lobby, and we should be getting ready to go very soon indeed. Spag says, send me an invite. Terrible, we've got a full grid. You're not getting an invite. You're not trying to sneak in here. We could play LOE Hangman, though, because we've got a bit of a delay.
The stars have aligned. Spag's in the chat, and, well, I think we need 1 or 2 rounds of LOE Hangman. On
my 100th commentary as well, please. I asked nicely. If not, I'm not commentating with you ever again, Spag. Yeah, I've just done them the dirty, haven't I? We're not going to play LOE Hangman, I don't think. That's terrible. I've gone too far. Anyways, hopefully everyone is having a very decent evening. We are about to get underway, as I say. Verstappen will have to manually set the grid, so we should have the qualifying results. I hope somebody has taken the results off qualifying. If not, I can send it over within the Discord, and Verstappen will have a much easier time of things. But we should see a lot of great racing out on track, no matter how many drivers, of course, are going to be racing. Rocco then just joining the session. Myself and Dan Field taking you through the action here for Division 1. In Division 3, by the way, LOE Hangman is on, and that's surely got to be James Head.
XL J. Cole.
I just saw the 5 and the 4, and I thought, that's my name.
Or
LOE
Gary.
driver. Yeah, it's definitely not me then.
There's too many XL drivers. It's definitely XL, but there's too many.
XL
too
Ryan.
many with 4 letters in their name.
XL Ryan.
XL Ryan.
XL Gary.
I'm sticking with my guns and going with J. Cole.
Oh, it's J. Cole, he says.
Yes! Get it.
Terrible. So I've basically just guessed all the XL drivers and then came second to you for guessing it once.
Domination.
Yeah, domination from my Qualcomms. Hopefully we are going to be having some domination, of course, out on track, in the sense that we'll get a good race. Hopefully this delay is written in the history books, and hopefully this is going to be the race of the season, like it was last week, of course, in France. And if you didn't tune in for France, of course, Montana took the win. I've got to say, though, the second half of the race last week in France was so much better than the first.
Oh yeah, it was so brilliant with the alternate strategy runners and how they really managed that one because, well, they just made so many overtakes. I remember, I think it was Connor Eustace, if I'm not mistaken. I think those were the two main candidates who were making most of the moves, and Connor was the one to really benefit the most. Of course, he took second position. He was charging onto Montana right towards the very end on the last lap. He went for the move, but unfortunately, the door completely shut on him. And given the fact that Montana's kept the win, I don't think there was any report between the pair of them. And if so, there was no further action. So Montana keeping that win. Connor staying in second position. Still a really brilliant drive from, I think, 6th on the grid from Connor. So he managed to take the podium after that.
Yeah, and his strategy in the second half of that race was just so phenomenal. He was carving through the field like a knife through butter, and if you want to go and watch that back, you can. I'm watching Division 3, by the way, live at the minute. If you want to tune in to that, you can. Carmentalist is up into 3rd position. Peter is into the pit lane, as well as Damon. They're up towards the top end of the field. They've just came in on lap 5, so if that's anything to go by, they got them pitting on a set of soft compound tyres. Let's speak about the strategy on our end, certainly. But, in terms of the softs, surely you would imagine that they'll only go about 5 laps, you would say, if it was a normal qualifying into race session?
Yeah, I'd say that is fair. You probably could only get that much.
And Damon has spun. Damon has spun coming out of through turn 5. Out on track. Oh, we're getting going anyways. Division 1 is getting going. Here, we're down to 19 drivers. I'm not sure who is not making it. So we are now down to 19. I'm trying to pinpoint who it is.
Chapelletti's not in.
Chapelet, was he even in the session?
Yeah, he was in. He was in 16th on the grid.
Was he?
Yeah.
I swear I didn't see his name earlier on.
Oh. Well, he's not back in here now, so he's going to miss out.
He is going to miss out. We'll see if there is anything. Actually, me turning on my iPad thinking I can see Discord. There we are. And Schiaparelli is typing in the chat, so we'll try and get a word with him maybe. But we now go into the race. 50%, of course, 31 laps. All of these guys are going to be starting on the fresh compound tyre. Hopefully everyone is also going to be starting on the correct compound of tyre as well, because if not, they're going to get a slap wrist from the stewards.
Yeah, I believe if they don't pit on lap 1 and change the tyres to the correct one, then they will get a straight disqualification for being on the wrong compound of tyres. It's harsh, but well, it gives you such an advantage. So realistically, they have to. Oh, they know the rules. I hope none of them make the mistake and forget to change their strategy. They also need to wonder about loading their setups. I've done that a few times where I've just forgotten to load a setup after a lobby restart. Feels horrible for the entire race, and there's no way to change it after that one, of course. So yeah, they've really got to get that one right. But we should be getting going. Second time is the charm, and we'll be back for some League of Europe action.
Yeah, we are just about 15 seconds away from us getting into the formation lap, and hopefully this is going to be very good. Justas saying, don't rush to ready up, please. He needs to set everything up. Well, he's had hardly any chance because everyone is now pretty much ready within 30 seconds. It's not like a settled course, and congratulations, by the way, to Carmentalist, who wrapped up the ACC PS4 Championship last night. A very good win from him on track as well. We are, though, on the formation lap here in Formula 1 in Division 1, and everyone is on the correct compound tyre, I do believe.
Yeah, it seems like even the drivers outside the top 10, they opted for the same tyres. They are allowed, I do believe, to change up the tyres if they want to, because they are starting outside the top 10, but they've kept to their guns. They're running with the same strategy, so we still have to watch out for Lando and Hardy. Those guys on the medium tyres, they'll probably be streaking away from the hard runners. Lando will have to get his elbows out and try and make some moves early on. Neo and Sweet Crown mired down the order. They've got 4 hard runners in front of them that they'll need to clear pretty early on if they want to have a good race in this one, of course. The medium tyres won't last as long as the hards, but they'll get a huge undercut, which they can use that track position to defend from the drivers in front. And Cookie Games were leaving the session.
Uh-oh.
I'm praying that we don't have a repeat of what happened.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. I'm on board with comments versus POV, by the way, in Division 3. And he's right on the back of Rudy for the race lead out on track. So if you do want to go and watch Division 3 action, or even Division 4 action, you can. Cookie Games' car, I do believe, is still going around there in AI mode. Hopefully it doesn't rejoin within the formation app. Actually, I've seen it join within the formation app. It should be fine, to be honest. It's before the formation app where it happens. There's a predicted pit stop strategy. Lap 7 to 9, lap 19 to 25 on a set of mediums, lap 12 to 18 on a set of hards. Never trust the AWS graphics for the sake of your life, because they're always a couple of laps later than scheduled. These guys, probably on a set of soft component tire, you would imagine if they were going to go set of mediums, they'd put in probably lap 7, lap 8, I would think.
Yeah, that's probably where I'd say they'd also pit, but it's going to be pretty interesting to see how the tyres do, of course. I believe they fixed it to clear conditions or light cloud. It certainly looks hazy up in the sky, so probably no rain forecasted whatsoever in this race, but they are coming through the final sector. We'll get ready to go soon.
If you rejoin, don't take control until lights out. Oh, that's from you. I've just realised. I thought that was from Verstappen on his formation lap. But there we are. M Short then leading us around on the end of the formation lap. And what we didn't do, actually, because we were so confused about the lobby start, I didn't come across you for your top 3. So I'm going to do it now. Who's your top 3?
Oh, I'm going to say Montana wins, Connor in second, and I think Yulbrim is going to take podium.
Interesting. I'm going to go Montana for the win, I'm going to go Connor for second, and I'm going to go Justas for third. There we are. Let's see which one of us is right in terms of predictions. There's the rundown, as I say, to turn 1 from M Short's view. There's the rundown from Connor's view as well. And now we are about to get going, finally, hopefully, for Division 1 action. The 5 red lights are now coming on here in Singapore for round 9 of the championship. And it's lights out and away we go. M Short gets a good stop, but so does Connor, and Connor could have the run down in towards turn 1. He's certainly got a better start than M Short, but he's now side by side as M Short leads through turn 1. There's all sorts of carnage in the background. Verstappen and Yulbrim dropping down positions, but it's M Short who leads out at turn 3 for the first time now through turn 4. Connor in second, Montana in third, Justas in the fourth. Good start from him. Alpha Trix is on the inside line of Yulbrim, gets the move done in towards turn 5, and now it's side by side between the two sister cars. Zhao Zhao coming in there as well. He's got the overtake mode out and he's trying to let the go, trying to move past Alpha Trix as well, but in towards the first sector into Memorial Bend for the first time as Verstappen tries to go all the way around the outside of Yulbrim, and Yulbrim really struggling off the start, has lost all sorts of positions. Verstappen is now through into 7th. Toxic now lining up on Yulbrim as well. Yulbrim really dropping down the field, but M Short leads, Connor in second, Montana in third as we approach the first half of the lap.
Yeah, it's been a disastrous getaway for Yulbrim in this one. Also a bad start from Campbell. He's got wing damage. He won last time we came out here.
What? Did you just see what I saw?
Yeah, I did see that. As Lando, he's forcing his way through on Cohen. I've got to re-invite Cookie Games in.
Sweet crown on the back of Lando for 13th position. If you didn't see what I saw, Campbell lost his right side end plate damage, right side end plate running down the straight and hardly hitting anyone. That is very, very, very strange from the Scotsman. He's down at the back of the field, of course, last season's winner, I should say, in Season 4 in Singapore. But it's M Shaw who leads towards the end of the first lap. It's 9/10 of a second over Connor. Montana in third with Justas in fourth, Alpha Trix in fifth, Zhao Zhao in sixth, Verstappen, Yulbrim, Toxic and Hardy rounding off the top 10 at this stage. Of course, M Short sets a new fastest lap of the race. Oh, and we get a graphics glitch, which is absolutely typical. It's now M Short still leading the way as Yulbrim has retired, coming into the pit lane. So a disastrous start from him, and D. Daniel is into the pit lane as well. I wonder if D. Daniel and Campbell might have had a bit of contact.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused by that because D. Daniel is so far. He was way behind him as he's gone onto a set medium compound of tyres here, has D. Daniel, so he'll probably be stopping in this one. They cross through the first sector and that fixes the graphical glitch for the most part. Still a bit buggy, and we've got to wait for the two who are in the pit lane to come out here. So Campbell, yeah, he's coming out too, so yeah, been a bit of a tough start, bit of carnage down the order as well, but realistically the top three kept it really nice and clean.
Yeah, across the Anderson Bridge section for the second time they're now on track, as we see Campbell coming out of the pit lane, Newell-Broom's car getting out of the way as well, and now the graphics have fixed themselves. However, the interval timings have not, as the Daniel is still at the top of the order apparently. It's M. Short though who leads, Connor in second, and there we go, we've corrected itself now. Montana there in third, Justas in fourth, Alphatrix in fifth, Zhao Zhao in sixth. No interval timings on the left hand side. Verstappen though on the back of Zhao Zhao for sixth, and he's trying to look to try and get the move done. Probably not at this time around in this part of the track, coming through 18 and then through 19, but he's going to try and put Zhao Zhao under a bit of pressure, and if Zhao Zhao does more than that, nearly run into the wall coming out of 18 and then through 19, that might just begin to hope that Verstappen can try and get past him, as M. Short sets a new fastest lap of the race, and he is now 9/10 clear ahead, so the gap has remained stable out in front from Connor in second, Montana in third, Justas in fourth, Alphatrix in fifth, Zhao Zhao sixth, Verstappen in seventh, Tux in eighth. Hardy though is into ninth, and more crucially, he's on the pack for the front, as Rocco is holding up a right train in behind.
Yeah, Rocco is he's dropped off massively, 2.3 seconds back, and Neo could be onto the back of him coming down in towards the corner at the end of the straight, and there it is, DRS enabled. He's going to pull off to the left-hand side, and he's gone through there. Lando could also try and take a piece out of the Haas car of Rocco. He's just going to stick behind for now. Coming into the second sector, it is Neo moving up into 10th on the medium compound tyres. They'll be a lot quicker than Rocco's hards at this point in time, but they won't last forever. Rocco's going to go a lot longer into this race, so it's probably smart that they don't fight each other too hard.
Yeah, Lando on the back of Rocco. Rocco, of course, his tyres will probably go to around lap 20, and then he'll put in maybe for a set of mediums, maybe for a set of softs. Who remains to be seen. Lando is on the back, and Lando, you would imagine, he's going to be in a rush to try and get past Rocco. As he now opens up the DRS, Rocco could be sitting duck actually, as Lando tries to use the overtake mode up, down the inside and towards 10-14. He commits it too late on the brakes. He gets pinched onto the inside line, and Rocco hangs on. Rocco in 11th, Lando in 12th. Lando wishful thinking for that, to be honest, but if he does that more times too often, he will pick up damage.
To be honest, I think Lando got off quite lightly there. I think Rocco left a bit too much room. He probably could have closed the door a lot more, and he would have gotten away with it, because I think Lando was just a bit too ambitious with that move, but Rocco really stamping his foot down. He doesn't want to lose the position. There's more drivers coming into the pit lane on lap number 4. Zhao Zhao, Toxic and Verstappen, they're all in very early on their tyres. They're going to be going onto a set of hard compound of tyres, I believe, unless they're trying to stop hard tyres out for the Renault team, mediums for the Alfa Romeo, and it's going to be hard for the Haas car of Toxic. So interesting strategy coming out from Zhao Zhao, and he's got the jump on Verstappen. He'll be a lot quicker, but he's going to have to two-stop this one.
You will have to two-stop this one. I think might be the better strategy for him, to be honest, as well. As Lando now sails past Rocco, running down the straight. Street Crown is going to come from an absolute mile back as well. Oh, nearly gets us from wing, chopped off down in towards turn number 7 at Memorial Corner. But Lando in 8th, Rocco in 9th, Street Crown in 10th. Lando getting a little bit sideways, actually. Made a mistake, and now Rocco is going to put him under a lot of more pressure. The Mercedes against the Haas, and of course Haas represented by Schumacher and Mazepin. And if you saw Mazepin's performance in qualifying, you'd be thinking to yourself, why did he get that seat in Haas? Rocco on the back of Lando. Rocco deserves the seat in Haas, however, and he is on the back of Lando. And actually, to be fair, he is actually sticking with him.
Yeah, he's not dropped off too much, but you can see the difference that the tyre's made, because Neo has gone up 2.3 seconds ahead of Lando at this point. I'm just seeing in the chat, in the YouTube chat, Yorbrun's actually come into the chat and said, I had no setup, so that was what I was talking about. It's really horrible. It is so hard to drive with it, and yeah, I completely screwed this race.
M. Short! M. Short's into the pit from the lead of the race. Connor and Montana continue on, but M. Short dives into the pit lane thinking that Montana and Connor were going to follow in, and this might be one of the most costliest decisions of the season so far, possibly. If Connor and Montana can really streak out and work together, M. Short actually could be sitting duck. He's going to be out, I think, maybe alongside Zhao Zhao. Zhao Zhao's just coming out of turn 21 now. In fact, he's going to be well ahead of Zhao Zhao. I'll scrap what I've just said. M. Short is coming out of the pit lane. Zhao Zhao coming out through turn 1. But he's on a set of hard compound tyres as M. Short. Zhao Zhao in behind on a set of mediums. And this could spell trouble, I think, for M. Short, especially if Zhao Zhao is that quick compared to what we've seen him so far. As Rocco has just been overtaken by Speedcrown running in towards turn 7 at Memorial Corner. The German through on the Brit, and he's through and he's into 8th.
Yeah, so it seems like all the medium runners who are behind Rocco are now in front of him, and they've streaked out quite some margin. I don't think it is as bad for M Short as it seems, because he's getting a very big undercut on the leaders, and their tyres are going off as well. They're not going to last that much longer just because of the sheer tyre wear that is around this circuit, so I don't think it's as costly as you'd expect it to be. But Zhao Zhao, when he's right up behind him, he's not going to be too difficult to overtake. I believe M Short coming up towards the DRS straight, just through the Anderson Bridge. You've got to negotiate the hairpin first. We'll see the difference in traction that they both get. You can see the confidence in the brake that Zhao Zhao has. He's got to make another pit stop on this one. I don't think M Short's going to fight this one too hard, but Zhao Zhao doesn't want to go for it. Zhao Zhao's going to hang back for the time being, as we got yellow flags, and that's one of the rebels.
Connor,
I think it's
from
Connor.
the lead. Connor from the lead of the race. I think he's got caught on the inside curb, but on the outside of turn 21, he's got damage on the left side end plate, which comes to show. I think he's probably hit the wall on the outside curb coming out of 21, and that's him into the pit lane, and that's disaster for Connor. I was just about to say the gap was 27 seconds between himself and M Short. Now he adds another 5 seconds onto that, but we'll have to look on board with Montana, because Montana is at the end of the pits here. M Short's only coming out the final corner. These guys are going to be side by side, I'll tell you now, coming down in towards turn 1. I think M Short might just have the overrun, but I think Montana might be just ahead. M Short's there. Montana is side by side. M Short cuts him off, and M Short is barely ahead. But look at Zhao Zhao. How much has he caught up on that set of medium compactor tyres? He's now right in the fray.
Yeah, so now coming on the run up towards turn number 7 here. Is Montana going to go for it? Tell you what, he's using up his overtake, coming down into the brakes. He's going to have to be diving on the brakes, isn't it? Very late, Zhao Zhao going to the inside line. No positions made there, but M Short very late to move there. I don't think Montana will be best pleased with the break.
Oh, Zhao Zhao's hit the wall. Zhao Zhao's hit the wall. Left side end plate damage for Zhao Zhao. Just in the background, a shot coming out of turn 7 through 8, and Zhao Zhao now has got left side end plate damage. So that now is going to mean it's a straight fight really between M Short and Montana. I've got to be honest in saying that M Short came across very late to Montana. Montana tried to juke to get out the way. It forced Zhao Zhao onto the inside curb, and that's probably then led him to make a mistake as Zhao Zhao lets through Justas and Verstappen probably here as well. That is an absolute disaster for Zhao Zhao. I think that all spawned from M Short going across a Montana and Zhao Zhao having to take avoiding action on the back of Montana as Alphatrix is into the pit lane from second.
Yeah, maybe Alphatrix could also be in a pretty decent position here because he's pitting a little bit later than everyone else. So our fresh tyres have gone onto the medium compound of tyres. So he's trying the two-stop strategy. I don't think these tyres can make it to the end from lap 7 all the way to lap 31, but I guess they could prove wrong.
Hardy!
Unfortunately, Hardy's out of the session.
From the lead of the race.
He was leading the race. I'm going to ask him in the Discord chat if he does have an invite, but yeah,
Zhao Zhao's retired.
Zhao Zhao's retired. Makes sense. I wouldn't have
Zhao Zhao
wanted to go on.
retires out on track. Yeah, Alphatrix, by the way, came up behind the likes of Verstappen, but just ahead of Toxic. So that is crucial for Alphatrix out on track. He's in 13th. Well, Neil on lap 7. Hardy's AI, I should say, now leads the way. Neo in second, Lando in third, Sweet Crown in fourth. But in the meantime, Rocco trying to get onto the back of the Alfa Romeo. M Short is under pressure from Montana in behind, and Montana is going to try and push M Short to the limit here, coming through turn number 9. It locks up slightly. Montana very much controlled coming through there. And if I was Montana, I'd be looking to try and have a go down in towards turn 14, if I've got to be honest, as Neo, of course, will get past Hardy's AI for the lead of the race coming through turn 14. Now across the Anderson Bridge, though, with Montana and M Short. M Short in 9th, Montana in 10th. Justas is not too far off this as well. Verstappen not doing too badly either. Alphatrix is on a set of mediums. We'll be hoping to try and make progress up. Montana not close enough. Running down in towards turn 14 as Hardy has rejoined the session. Neil then leading Hardy in second, Lando in third. I would imagine that Hardy probably rejoin the session in third as long as his AI doesn't decide to come into the pit lane, as actually Neil is into the pit lane, and that is a very early stop.
Yeah, that is so early from Neo there. He's gotten onto the hard compound of tyres. He'll be running this to the end, but that's a bit of an interesting one from Neo. I guess he's just a bit of an undercut.
I know why he's done this. He's going to try and actually get Alphatrix. There is Neo just coming out the pit lane now. He's going to be out around Connor sort of area. He's done this, I think, to protect possibly him looking forward later on in the race. That's not a bad position to be in, actually, behind Connor. He's a second, more than a second off him, obviously. Alphatrix now on the back of Verstappen, and he is now looking to try and get the move done. The Brit against the Dutchman, and the Dutchman just pulls to the left-hand side and said, you know what, you're coming through. Alphatrix is then through into 11th position, so all the warns for Alphatrix, he's into 11th, and now he can hunt down his next target with his Justas. He's now got a target on his back, on that rear wing has Justas, but Alphatrix now right on the back of the Lithuanian, and he's going to be putting him under a lot of pressure.
Of course, those medium tyres, it'll be a lot quicker, and he'll probably be trying to do what Connor did last week. Of course, Alphatrix couldn't make it last week, he wasn't home in time. Maybe we could see a repeat of what we saw between M Short and Montana, because Montana, once again in the DRS, is a little bit further back coming into the braking zone, so I think he's just trying to settle into a groove and maybe force him into a mistake at some point, or just let him get a bit too comfortable, then strike when he's not really expecting it. But a net P4 for Alphatrix at the moment, coming up behind Justus. He'll be onto the back of Montana and Hardy's in the pit lane very early here, but M Short as well. He'll be fighting with him, so he could really be the spoiler in the party.
He could be the spoiler in the party, he could be the party pooper out on track possibly, but Montana on the back of M Short, 5/10 away as he comes across the line. He will use up the DRS, of course, to try and get close. He could have a run actually down in towards turn number 7 at Memorial Corner, so we'll have to wait and see. Alphatrix as well, similarly, could have the run on Justas, and Justas doing a very good job in 9th, currently actually in net P3. Out on track, he's on a set of hard competitors, he's got a lap pressure over M Short. Now Montana, is he going to have a go at M Short this time around? I think he's close enough to try and have a go. Montana up to the outside line, M Short doesn't hassle, and Montana tries to go around the outside, M Short forcing him off track. Montana though is still there, he's not giving this up without a fight, coming through 8, nearly pushes him into the wall, and that is how Montana gets through. Ruthless aggression out on track from Montana, and he had to force his way through somehow, and he did, and he's through now into the net lead of the race.
Stone cold from Montana there, coming towards the Anderson Bridge, solidifying his position. That is a net P1 for the Swiss man who won last week.
Oh, Alphatrix was nearly onto the back of Justas then. Justas nearly then outbroke himself into the back of M Short, but now Alphatrix on the back, running down. I don't think we're going to see him move, so you can carry on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually don't remember what I was going to say, but Alphatrix, he's a little bit caught up in this train here. I think he's not going to be too happy that he's involved with these guys. He's probably going to be hoping for safety car at some point, but you can see how close he is to the rear of Justas, just trying to force a move, about 2/10 keeping it there, but yeah, DRS trains, quite powerful, picking up the second 3-second time penalty of the night, Lando having the first, but now this could be Alphatrix's opportunity, because the pack has spread out just a little bit more, coming down towards Cernabor, and he's not using any of his overtakes, so he's going to stick back for the time being, and Justas going to maintain that net P3.
Yeah, not close enough now. Justas in 9th, currently out on track. Alphatrix, of course, in 10th position. Nolan, by the way, saying full on push M Short into a wall, but okay. That's the nature of the track, though. Out on track, and to be honest, if you give the driver room down the inside line, the gap is there and the invite is there to come up the inside, and I think Montana took that opportunity to try. I'm sure the stewards will have a look at it nonetheless, but as I said, ruthless aggression from Montana to get the move done, and he's thrown he's into 7th position. M Short looks like he's a little bit struggling now out on track. He's on the back foot, and that puts Justas and Alphatrix on the front foot, but a man that's getting himself nicely into contention, Connor, now latching onto the back.
Yeah, Connor, of course, on those medium tyres, only 3 laps old, so he is in a pretty decent position to just put himself in this train for the lead of the Grand Prix. And, oh dear, M Short actually...
His Alphatrix on Justas, down the inside line, can he get the move done? Justas sees him coming, and that is a good move by Alphatrix. Justas let him go, I think, and Alphatrix is through, and he's now into 9th.
Yeah, I don't think M Short will be much of a challenge for him, because M Short has just lost DRS to Montana. Montana beginning to streak away slightly from the pack, and yeah, 1.1 seconds. So M Short, the DRS detection zone is just about before the 22nd corner. He might just have it. He has just about pipped it there, but well, he's right on the cusp. He's dancing on a knife edge with the DRS, and now yeah, they're just beginning to space out a little bit, but M Short struggling at the moment.
Yeah, name changes on the back of Kuhn Bly as well. The two Ferraris are going to go possibly side by side down towards Memorial Corner. Somebody that is those Rocco diving from an absolute mile back down the inside. There's contact there. Sweet Crown has spun around, and that is really bad, I think, for Sweet Crown. Rocco shouldn't have tried that. To be honest, I think he should wait up from out on track, give them the benefit of the doubt, lose the positions as a result. And in the background as well, Connor now through on Verstappen. He got the move done, I think, down in towards the braking zone at Memorial Corner, and he's through and he's into 11th. But Sweet Crown caught up in that. I don't think he's got damage actually, which I'm very glad to report. If he has, it's very light damage. He's got Kuka Games now on the back of him, but Rocco, I don't think should have gone for that move if he came from that far back.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch the incident, but it is a shame for Sweet Crown to be in that position, to be spinning around, of course. And it's an unforgiving track, Singapore. It's really easy if you just make a mistake, which obviously Rocco has made by your description of it. So it's really easy to make a mistake, and unfortunately, Sweet Crown paid the price. He paid the price for it. Sometimes too many letters that sound similar just get me sometimes. All right, I am sorry, but we'll see if he decides to come to stay out, despite the fact that his tyres are probably a little bit worn out here.
Yeah, I think he's going on to a set of hards, going to go on to one-stop strategy as Lando out in front. Sweet Crown as well is staying out. Kuka Games on the back. Alphatrix, though, hunting down M Short. And M Short in 8th position, currently net 2nd, but with the tyre advantage, Alphatrix is now hunting him down. And M Short, I think, is just going to be at the 2nd DRS zone here. There's the DRS detection point going into the corner, and Alphatrix now is on the back as Kumbly is through on Rocco. Rocco now down to 3rd, and now Alphatrix has got M Short in his sights. Absolutely sailed by him, running down into the Memorial Corner. The job is done for Alphatrix, and he's through and he's into 8th. And are we going to get the battle that we've all wanted to see so far this season? Montana v Alphatrix on different compounder tyres as well?
Well, we've been waiting very patiently for it. 8 whole rounds have gone, and we haven't really got to see the light of day between the age-old battle of the two titans in League of Europe history. Of course, we could have had that in Australia, but then everything completely unravelled from there. As coming on to the straight here with the DRS, well, Alphatrix going to be on the charge in comparison to Montana, who's slightly worn, well, just a little bit more worn hard tyres. I'd say the mediums are around about just a little bit quicker than Montana, given how quickly he was able to catch up. But this will be the age-old battle that we've been waiting for.
Yeah, Stephen, by the way, in the comment section saying lots of dive bombs. Again, I think it's down to the nature of the track, and it's down to the nature of impatience, I've got to say, from the drivers as well. So that's why we're probably seeing moves like that out on track. Sweet Crown Kuka Games, by the way, is into the pit lane, interestingly, from a set of hards. Maybe on go a set of mediums for him. Alphatrix is 4/10 quicker personal best on this lap now, and he hunts down Montana for 4th position out on track. Well, Luigi also saying Alphatrix is on a mission. He is on a mission. Is he on a mission to get 1st position out on track? I rhymed that. Alphatrix in 5th, Montana in 4th for now. How long is that going to be? Look at the EOS actually for Alphatrix. He's on 8% running down the straight. Montana's on 14%, so Montana just is in the background. Connor is getting through on Justas. Justas just gives up on that position, and Montana is through and he's into 7th. Connor is through and he's into 7th. Montana's still hanging on for 4th for now. Alphatrix, though, both of them to a degree have got to save up that EOS, because if not, they could be under pressure from M Short. But saying that, M Short's on 6% running down in towards the Singapore Sling.
Yeah, they're all struggling on the overtake. There's not too many places to recharge your battery here. But now, 3/10 is the gap between Alphatrix and Montana. Coming onto the DRS straight, is Alphatrix going to go for the move here? He's got his crosshairs laid upon Montana. He's going to hang back for the time being, but you can see how close he is getting to on the apex of the corner. 2.5 tenths separates the two former rivals who've not had the best season so far, but well, they'll be fighting it hard in Singapore.
There will be indeed. Kumbly, by the way, is leading the race, 9/10 of a second over Rocco, who in turn is under pressure from Name Changer in behind. Name Changer, who apparently is now from the Czech Republic, as according to his flag within the lobby. Montana in 4th and Alphatrix in 5th. Of course, if you know Name Changer, he is a Finn, as opposed to a Czech Republican driver, as Montana gives a bit of a weave going on down the straight to Alphatrix, maybe trying to get a little bit of heat into those tyres. And is he sensing a threat from Alphatrix in behind? Because M Shaw and Connor are on the back to a degree, but they're not on the back, if you know what I mean. They're just out of DRS range, I think. But now, Alphatrix is on the back, and Alphatrix has got to commit for the move. He might just invite him through here, Montana, and Alphatrix is going to be invited through. And Alphatrix is through, and he's into the net lead of the race out on track. Montana now in 5th position, Alphatrix up to 4th, and that was no nonsense. And hopefully that might not be sign of things to come.
Yeah, so that is the move made for Alphatrix. He's going to completely drop Montana for now, but of course, those medium tyres, they're not going to last forever. We're only about the halfway point of this Grand Prix. It's the longest race on the calendar in terms of how long it actually takes to complete such a long circuit, 31 laps. So it is a race of attrition, I'd say, for these guys, but yeah, maybe there'll be a convenient accident at the time where Alphatrix needs to pit, and then we'll have LOE Crashgate in Singapore, of all places, quite fitting. But yeah, he's got to pit at some point.
Deplorable. Absolutely deplorable by you saying that Alphatrix is going to do a Crashgate. Terrible. Terrible. Name changer on the back of Rocco for 2nd, and Rocco's just lost the DRS train to Kumbly as well. Kumbly leading the way, Rocco in 2nd, name changer in 3rd, and Rocco is in a bit of a Ferrari sandwich at this stage. As Tifosi will be enjoying this race. Certainly, if you are a fan of the Tifosi, get yourself excited for now, but they're going to be down at the back of the field within a few laps' time, I would imagine. So I'm just warning you, as Lando has picked up another 3-second time out on track. That's his 6 seconds now, I do believe. Toxic has got 6 seconds as well, and just confirm that there is the penalties. Toxic actually has only got 3 seconds. Lando's got 9 seconds, and now name changer on the back. Is he going to come from a mile back on Rocco? Rocco feels the threat, but not close enough. Name changer to get that move done. We remain as we are on pretty much the halfway stage, as Lando now closes up on D. Daniel. Lando now on the back of D. Daniel, running down the side of the course, done in towards turn 7, and he's got the job done. Lando is through, and he's into 13th position. Nolan Nelson's approach from him, and Lando on a fresh set of hards. D. Daniel, though, on a fresh set of mediums, is going to be up for this fight. And speaking of up for this fight, Sweet Crowd now through on Campbell. Fresh set of hards again coming into play.
Yeah, it's 12 uphold medium tyres for Campbell. He's been on those, I think, since the start. Pretty much because both himself and D. Daniel had to pit very early on with wing damage. That is why they are so far down the order. Guys like Cohen, Rocco, and Name Changer, you'd expect them to come out around about where probably Lando is. I'd expect maybe a little bit further back, but yeah, they'll be very quick on their fresh set of medium tyres. I'd assume they're going.
Division 3, by the way, it's fully wet. And Carmenslus is down in 17th position, according to his POV. I accidentally clicked on his stream instead of the Division 3 stream.
Campbell's off, he's round.
But he hasn't got damage, I don't think, which is crucial. So the Scotsman round coming through, I think that was turn 14, out on track, so that's a shame for Campbell. Kumbly, though, leading the way still. Rocco in 2nd, Name Changer in 3rd. Is it me, or is it getting less hazy out on track? Oh, Toxic had a right moment coming out of turn 3.
Yeah, and he's got Neo right behind him. Coming on the straightaway, Neo has plenty of ERS
job done.
to spare, and he's going to go right around the outside into the braking zone. He'll probably be ahead before the braking zone even comes. There it is, into P10 for Neo. Toxic making that mistake. 11 laps on this hard compound of tyres. He's one of the drivers who pitted very, very early for their new set. For their one stop in this Grand Prix, and he is paying the price for it now. I can see, because he's got Hardy, Neo, all these guys starting on the medium compound of tyres, and well, they are coming into play now because they're beginning to feel the effects of tyre wear.
He is going to feel the effects of tyre wear. He's on 11 lap old hards, Hardy on 6 lap old hards, Lando in behind on 2 lap old hards. So Lando obviously going to be in the better chance, I think, to probably get these tyres towards the end of the race. The rest might have to come in for a set of softs towards the end. However, we will remain to be seen on that. Alphatrix, by the way, has kept the gap consistent for 4th. Montana just dropping by about a 10th of a second, coming out through turn 21 as Alphatrix absolutely flies through there. Kumbly then is the first to come into the pit from a set of hard compounder tyres, and this should be a set of mediums going on. And obviously, if it was going to be a set of softs, it would be going to be raining towards the end of the race, but I don't think it is. Kumbly then into the pit lane, on goal fresh set of mediums, as well as Toxic, who comes into the pit lane as well.
Yeah, I think comfortably that set of medium tyres will last towards the end. They can go about 18 laps in the Grand Prix and you'll be on around about 80%, I'd say. And Toxic, yeah, he's not had much of a good day. He pitted way too early for that set of hard tyres. He's gone to a set of mediums. He'll take those right to the end. But lap 17, not too much happening at the moment. Everyone has kind of just settled down into their grooves. One thing I have noticed though is that Alphatrix has not dropped Montana as much as he'd like to, and well, it's going to be a touch and go if he gets to the end of the Grand Prix. I wouldn't expect him to be going with already 9 laps on these tyres. It's going to be very, very free for him.
Yeah, Montana, I've got to be honest, I think we're beginning to see a crossover period, possibly. Alphatrix is catching Name Changer and Rocco, obviously, you would expect that out on track, but Montana is keeping it really stabilised out on track. Yes, they're running a DRS train to a degree, but Montana, I think, maybe we're beginning to see the crossover period possibly out on track between the hards and the mediums. The peak performance of those mediums definitely now beginning to go. As you can see, Montana quicker through that corner there. Just lost a 10th coming out of turn 18, then through 19. But I tell you what, Alphatrix could be under a little bit of pressure here from Montana. Certainly don't think this lap around, as Rocco and Name Changer now into the pits promotes both Alphatrix and Montana and them short up to first, second and third. Connor now fourth, Justas in fifth, Verstappen in sixth. Pretty much got a 6-way fight for the lead at this point, and it's Neo, the man who's leading the best of the rest pack at this stage. So essentially think of it this way, we've got Formula 1 and now we've got Formula 1.5.
Yeah, so it seems like in this race the McLaren outfit are in a very strong position. Montana, you'd assume, will retake the lead as Cookie James got a 5-second time penalty being in the pit lane. He's only been on these tyres for 3 laps here, so I'm a bit confused why he's coming to the pit lane. Maybe he's just trying for the fastest lap. He doesn't see any fight for points in this race, and he's going on to another set of mediums to go to the end of the Grand Prix. But yeah, it's pretty much confirmed him out of the points. He won't be taking anything home out this one. But it is just a fastest lap for pride, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Slovenian will have to get the fastest lap of the race, of course. Fastest lap currently is set by Campbell, who literally just pops on to our screen as purple, 1:37.593 from Campbell. He sets the fastest lap of the race. Kuka Games' fastest lap actually a 1:37.8, so it's actually not too far off that fastest lap at all, by about 0.3 of a second. Hardy, in the meantime, is on the back of Neo and Lando. So these guys are trying to excel out on track, no pun intended. 7th, 8th and 9th position for the 3 of them, and they're going to be running a bit of a train. Does Neo go on to a faction side with the Mercedes crew and try and drag them into contention to try and get Verstappen towards the end of the race? Or does Lando get let through by Hardy and Lando has a crack at Neo as Connor is into the pit lane from 4th?
Yep, so that is his second stop in this
Mediums.
one. It'll be another set of medium compound tyres to take right to the end. He'll go comfortably on that set, promoting more drivers up the grid. And there's Sweet Crown. He's had an incident, and it looks like he's spun in the 3rd sector. And yeah, that is going to be him. That is a really easy corner, actually, to spin the car. He's in 13th position. He could have been closer where Connor is, but yeah, Connor's on a much fresher compound of tyres, and it'll be very, very quick. But realistically, the 2-stop has completely thrown away his strategy.
Here's Hardy down the inside on Neo. No factions for the XL boys, as now the McLaren and the Mercedes fight down in towards turn 8. Hardy leaves him short of room, and Neo is then back into 7th position, back in his place as Hardy is through, and he's into 6th. Neo now 7th and Lando in 8th position. They did touch, of course, as you just mentioned, their Name Changer and Rocco are now having a fight. I think Name Changer actually got through on Rocco, if I'm not mistaken, so the Ferrari through on the Haas, and he's through and he's into 10th. And these guys actually, they're on a fresh set of medium compounded tyres. Connor's 7.2 seconds behind them. Am I mad in thinking that Coomblind, Name Changer and Rocco might actually win this?
It's out there. It is an outlandish thought. They are certainly at the outside coming into this one because of the gaps that they have, but those fresh medium tyres, they're going to be probably over a second quicker a lap, probably maybe in 1.5 to 2 seconds, I'd say. After it's pulling into the pit lane there, so he's going to be fitting on a set of medium compound tyres to run 12 laps to the end of this one. And yeah, 2-stop hasn't worked for the Red Bull boys. He'll probably come out behind Rocco. Where about? I'd say, yeah, where Rocco is, I think.
Yeah, in between that gap between Rocco and Connor, maybe side by side with Connor. Coming out the pit lane, possibly. He's still got a long way to go on this pit lane. Connor's out the final corner. It is going to be side by side. Connor sets the fastest third sector, and Connor's actually going to be ahead of Alphatrix. So Connor is then through, and he's into 11th. And how important is that for Connor? He's absolutely flew on that outlap, and Alphatrix obviously relinquished the lead of the race out on track. Montana and M Short. Verstappen seems to be in the scenario where he's on a set of hard compounded tyres. Are they really going to get 20 odd laps towards the end of the race, is what the guys are going to be thinking out on track? And if not, I think Kuhn Bly, Name Changer and Rocco, I'll stand by my decision and say this, Kuhn Bly, Name Changer and Rocco might be within a chance of actually winning this if the guys, for the top 4 certainly, Hardy and Neil might be fine, but certainly if the top 4 pit, they've got a real crack at the win.
I think the hard tyres have got a little bit more durability than you're making out. I believe you'll be around about the puncture territory in 25 laps, I think, is where they'll start to be in that, well, on the tyres, that is. So I'd say they're comfortably getting to the end. We're about 2.7 cent a lap. It's all this data I've got here, but yeah, so I'd say they get to the end. They'll be a lot slower than the medium runners than that, and that is evident by how much Cohen has caught up to the back of Lando and Neo. This could be his best result all season for the Ferrari driver. As I recall, he's not at the best of times in League of Europe so far. He's only on 6 points. And that all came in the crazy Russian Grand Prix. Out of all the races he started in, only 6 points to his name.
Only 6 points to his name, but he's in 8th position currently, and he's going to be getting pretty much the same amount of points compared to that position out on track, as now Lando just run out wide slightly, gives Kuhn Bly now a bit of a chance running down the straight. Lando is also going to close in on Neo. He could be quite close enough. Kuhn Bly, though, to the outside line. Oh, he nearly went into the back. Lando, again, coming across quite late. Something about the stewards are definitely going to have a look at that, possibly with late braking moves. Of course, you have to pick 2 choices essentially to go into a corner. 1 to defend the position, and then 1 to position your car in a way to defend that position, essentially. So Kuhn Bly might just feel a little bit of judge, but he's on fresher tyres. He should get past him in absolutely no time.
Sorry, wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Kuhn Bly on the back of Lando for 7th. Is he going to look for the inside? Oh, he's diving down late. Down the inside line. Lando leaves him short of room, and that was inevitable again. But now Name Changer on the back as well. And the 2 Ferraris are going to go side by side in towards 15. And if Name Changer went for that, goodness me, we could have had PKK on our hands. Name Changer and Kuhn Bly nearly side by side. And Name Changer's putting his own teammates under a lot of pressure out on track. There's the yellow flag in Sector 2. And I think that might have been Cookie Games that was round. And he's lost his right side end plate damage.
Cookie Game's not having a good one. He's probably going to pit, and I wouldn't expect him to retire, because he actually said at some point in the season, I think at the beginning of the season, I'm not going to retire on track at all this season. I'm going to finish every race that I can, which is very nice to see from him. Coming on to the straight here, we'll see if Cohen can maybe try and stick it to Lando just that little bit more. Not got too much in those tyres left. He brushes the wall on exit, and that has actually ruined any exit that he could have had, and he can't get close enough, but he is going very deep on the brakes, perhaps just that slight bit too deep, because now he's got his teammate right on his rear, putting his nose up his gearbox, coming in towards the second sector here. This train stuck in a bit of a DRS loop here, going to be ruining those medium tyres.
And they've got to watch out for Connor as well, coming onto the back of him. It's 3 seconds at the minute, but that gap, because he's in clear air, and that is going to close quickly. Alphatrix is also going to close quickly as Kuhn Bly tries to force the move on Lando, running in towards a hairpin, not quite close enough. Ferrari against Mercedes, where have we seen this one before out on track? Here in Division 1. Cookie Games, by the way, into the pit lane after picking up that damage. He's just about to come into his pit box, I think, now. Montana then is out on track, leading the way. 1.1 seconds is the gap out on track between himself and M Short. M Short there in second, Justas in third. Top 3, of course, pulling away because of Connor and Alphatrix coming into the pit lane. Verstappen has actually been a little bit disappointing, if I've got to be honest. I thought he would have been trying to catch the guys, Justas and M Short, but it comes to show he's just, I think, in this now for 4th, as as now we're about to see possibly all sorts of carnage hitting off it down in towards turn 1 as Name Changer's on the back of Kublai. Is he going to look down the inside line on the Dutchman? There's contact, the two Ferraris forcing each other coming through turn 3. Name Changer really aggressive in trying to get this move done, and that, I'm afraid, is a little bit of karma if I've got to be honest. Kublai stays 8th, Name Changer stays 9th. Forceful moves really I don't like, and Name Changer, one of those drivers where he's just forcing for a move that really isn't going to work.
I think the team game completely going out the window here. Maybe Name Changer thought he was a little bit more entitled to some room, but yeah, he's going to have to hang back for the time being. It was touch and go, and I think that might be a steward's inquiry from one of the two. I wouldn't be sure. I'd probably say Name Changer is more likely to report. You see he's weaving just that little bit. He's a bit frustrated at his teammate, and well, that is all because they are stuck behind this train. He could be going for it. He's actually crushed the wall coming onto Anderson Bridge. Yeah, Alphatrix caught the back of the jumped Connor as well. So Alphatrix on the back of this train, and we'll see if he can try and make some moves. No, they're all going to hang back for the time being. So this train just getting longer behind Neo.
Yeah, it's like a Northern Express train to Manchester, I think, at this stage in the race. Neo, Lando, Kublai, Name Changer, Rocco, Alphatrix and Connor are the 7 on board this train here in Singapore. Name Changer on the back of Kublai, and you said he brushed the wall coming across the Anderson Bridge. He did, and now the Finn is under pressure. These guys have got to be patient. We're going on to lap 24 of the race, and these guys have got to be so patient out on track that there's still a few more laps left. They're on a set of mediums. They can get to the end of the race. It's as simple as that. They've just got to time their effort right. Kublai on the back of Lando trying to get the move done. Not quite close enough. Campbell in the meantime is through down towards turn 14 on Toxic. Toxic in fact has got the better run. Now coming out and Toxic looks to the inside line. It's Campbell who hangs on for the position. Now we're back on board with Kublai coming out through behind Lando. Neo just beginning to pull away slightly as well. Mercedes against Ferrari. Is the other Ferrari going to try and launch a go? No, don't think anybody is going to launch a go down in towards turn number 7 at Memorial Corner. We are now 3/4 of the way through the race. Montana leads the way in short second. Justas in third. Pretty much the top 3 might be on for that position now. Verstappen in 4th, Hardy in 5th, but the battle is pretty much from 6th down to 12th, which pretty much is the final 6-7 paying positions for points out on track.
I'm really scared as to how this battle is going to turn out here. Name Changer's having a half look. Coming up the inside line. It's not worked out for him. Rocco's now trying to see if he can find a move around the outside. It's not worked. And maybe Alphatrix could also stick his nose in here. Here's Rocco. He's right onto the back of Name Changer. He's pulling to the right side. He's going to hang back for the time being. Name Changer outbreaks himself. Coming off the exit. Here comes Rocco now around the outside. They're going to be wheel to wheel coming into the chicane. Who's going to get the move? It's around the outside for Name Changer. They're still wheel to wheel. Who's going to have a better run? Name Changer's into the wall almost. Has he just saved that actually? And now contact between himself and Connor, and Name Changer losing all the positions with the battle with Rocco there.
That's an absolute disaster for Name Changer. Name Changer, of course, running behind Kublai. He tried to look for the move, and it all spawned from that, and his persistent patience really does not pay off out on track as Connor is in 11th. Kublai now in 8th position as a result. Name Changer in 12th, and that's an absolute disaster for the Finn. But I think it's going to make him even more pumped up out on track. It's going to make him now even more wanting to try and get these moves done out on track, but he's got to do it in a way where it's not going to risk his own race and the races of others around him. Kublai on the back of Lando running down in towards turn number 7 once again. Alphatrix on the back, not quite close enough. Connor and Name Changer still following through as well. We're still on board a 7 carriage express train essentially out on track here in Singapore. Montana leading the way, M Short in second. I tell you what though, Justas is beginning to put M Short under a little bit of pressure. At 7/10 of a second, the gap may be consistent, but I just feel Williams might have a lap pressure tyres over M Short, and that could be crucial towards the end of the race.
I don't think M Short's a big fan of this circuit, and well, that is evident by the fact that he's not got the best pace around here. We'll see if Cohen could maybe try and size up a move. He's looking to the right side. That move was never going to pay off for the Dutchman. They're all going to stay remaining in single file in the positions that they have come into, and I'd say the hard tyres are probably around about the same pace as the mediums. I think Neo will be feeling the effects of tyre wear more than anyone at this point, and that is why Hardy's been able to get away so much. Granted, it's only a little pressure for Hardy, but yeah, Stephen's saying that I think Cohen off Name Change Just as cardless this year. Well, yeah, they've not had the best of races together, have they, as teammates?
They really haven't, and I'm afraid for Ferrari, they are picking up points out on track, 8th and 12th position currently, but watch out for D. Daniel. He's on 8 lap all mediums, 5.7 seconds off. If this really kicks off big time, he could be gaining in all sorts of positions out on track possibly, and I might have just written my own script right there by saying that. Neo in 6th, Lando in 7th, but now Kumbulai on the back of Lando, and Rocco under pressure from AlphaTrix. But again, nobody looking for the move down the inside. Everyone being patient, but you know, the more patience persists out on track in terms of these guys, the more angry and the more forceful they're going to get later on in the race. And that's what I think we're probably setting ourselves up for. These guys are going to go 0 to 100. It might seem quiet now, but trust me, final 2 laps of the race, it will not be.
Yeah, I doubt. I think Cohen's probably a little bit annoyed at Lando that the able to save up the DRS on the lap.
Name changer trying to go down the inside of Connor there, and it came out worse once again. He loses the back of Connor.
Yeah, so at this point, Colin Blind not going to be too happy with Lando blitzing all of his DRS down the straightaway because he's had the pace to get by him, and he's been hounding the rear for a very, very long time. They've been in this train for quite a while at this point, and it's all stemmed from Neo right down into 12th. And just want to mention, around about when this train began to form, Daniel was about 11 seconds back, and now he's 3.5 seconds off the train.
And he's going to be on the back of this train, I think, pretty much a penultimate lap of the race, possibly. Out on track, maybe lap 29 at a push, but D. Daniel, one of those guys to watch, as Justas is through on M Short. M Short darted down the inside, and there's contact between both of them, and M Short remains P2. Justas trying to go around the outside. I think M Short, though, was careered too late on the brakes, possibly there, and M Short is into second. I came on board with that quite late, so I didn't really see the full effects.
Yeah, I just noticed it on the time screen. Been focusing too much on the back.
Oh, AlphaTrix! Into the back of Rocco. There's a lot of Constantine effect now beginning to go out on track. Rocco nearly got forced into the back of Kumbulai. The name changer nearly ran into the back of Connor as well, and all that. Connor in turn nearly ran into the back of AlphaTrix. It's all beginning to get very, very grouped out on track, but this grouping really could spell absolute disaster for the final few laps of this race.
Yeah, it seems like at this point. Oh, Connor's up the inside out of nowhere on AlphaTrix. I was on board with AlphaTrix. He's at the wall. AlphaTrix has damage. He's got too hairy on the exit, and he's just brushed the wall. He's lost his end play, and that is going to be race over, surely, for AlphaTrix. He's going to lose so much time. I think he's out the points at this one.
He might be indeed. Daniel's 2 seconds off. He's less than 2 seconds off the back of Name Changer now. AlphaTrix is going to have to troop round. And do you know what? This is absolute disastrous for Name Changer out on track as well. Because Name Changer is going to be held up an absolute treat from AlphaTrix. You can count pretty much AlphaTrix out of that. Although, he might still troop on round. Lap 28 has begun. Montana leads the way out on track. M Short in second, Justas in third. Zhao Zhao and Yulbreen, by the way, did retire as Name Changer goes for AlphaTrix down the inside line. Gets the move done. Actually, ran the outside line, it was. Name Changer through, and he's into 11. By the way, there is a car that's spawning in the middle of this pack. That's Campbell trying to make his way through in ghosting mode. And he's on... He's ghosted inside, and Campbell was going for fastest lap of the race. He's got himself 3 DRS here, and obviously it's 15 seconds to Cookie Games. I'm not saying he's going to catch him before the end of the race, but Campbell, if he was in this group, honestly, it's like watching somebody on a simulator in an arcade.
Yeah, it's a bit like Campbell. It's a bit like Campbell's just whacked on Grand Prix mode on 20 AI, and he's breezed right through all of them. And yeah, he's cleared them now. He'll probably have blue flags, but I don't think he'll give a damn about that.
He'll be
but
quicker.
He will be quicker. He's had a big helping of slipstream and DRS down the throat. I actually don't think he gets slipstream from that, but he's lost time, so he's not going to be improving on this lap, unfortunately. I think maybe everyone put him off.
Terrible. Toxic into the pit lane as well. He's probably going for the fastest lap of the race. He could actually come out in this pack, to be honest, looking out on track. That'll be quite weird. Cookie Games, by the way, is just coming through behind M Short, I believe, out on track. He's into the pit lane as well. All of these guys towards the end of the field are going now towards the end of this race. But I'll tell you what, I'm above D. Daniel. Look, He's joined the back of this train, this 8-car train now, for 6th, all the way down to 13th. One of these guys is not going to be going home with any points at all out on track. Which one will it be? You'll find out in pretty much 3 laps' time.
Yeah, I've just noticed Connor's picked up another 3-second time penalty. That's 6 seconds to his name. At this point, even if D. Daniel doesn't make any moves, he's making up 3 positions just from the penalties of Name Changer, Connor, and Lando. We'll see maybe if any of these guys can make moves coming down the straightaway. Doesn't seem like it for the time being, but Alftrix still somehow hanging on in there. He's got D. Daniel right on his rear, trying to go into the ring. He's going to hang back for the time being. I've said that way too many times in this stream.
He nearly went into the back of him.
Tried it.
Lando trying it, and Lando was desperate to get through. Neo was not playing the team game though, out on track for XL, and that is going to be infuriating Lando at this point. It could, however, bring Kublai, Rocco and Connor into play as well. Rocco and Connor getting very close to the wall, coming across the Anson Bridge once again, as we see Rocco on the back of Kublai. Connor tries to nip up down the inside, but Rocco with the traction just powers out, and now Alphatrix is on the back of Name Changer. He could try and get the move done, but he's not quite close enough. Name Changer in 11th, Alphatrix now in 12th. Looks like Name Changer I thought he had damage on the right side, end plate damage, but he doesn't. But he's just losing now time on the back of these guys out on track. We have started the penultimate lap of the race with Montana. He leads the way, 3.4 seconds from M Short there in second, Justas in third. Justas, actually, he is waiting in behind M Short. He's got 27% of ERS. M Short's got less that, by about double the amount. M Short is going to be really under pressure as Connor is into the pit lane. Fastest lap attempt?
But I'm a bit confused. He probably could have still at least picked up 1 point in this one, but he's put him completely out of contention for that one. Now he's not going to score anything in this Grand Prix, so a bit confused by that one here, but it has created a bit of a rift between Name Changer and Alfred. Actually, probably just from the damage that he has, but Rocco onto the back of Cohen. Who's being made the DRS train in its most prevalent form. It seems like a 3/10 gap between M Short and Justas on lap 30 here. We could see a last lap fight between these two.
Yeah, Justas has been really pushing through the middle sector there, and he's now right on the back. He's not close enough to try and get a move done down in towards turn 14 at this second DRS zone. Of course, there's 3 DRS zones, remember, out on track, which I forgot to mention in qualifying. 1 down the start finish straight, 1 down in towards turn 7, and then 1 down in towards turn 14. You can see the snake, that is the train, right down the bottom of your screen, right down the bottom of the track map. We're on board though with Justas, right on the back of M Short for second. Montana looks like he's going to pick his second win up in a row, 3rd win of the season. He's not actually going to outscore M Short for the championship lead, but I tell you what, it is going to be quite close. Run into next week, that's for sure, if it stands as it is. Montana then leads onto the final lap of the race. Are we going to see punctures perhaps on the final lap of the race? M Short might be in with that threat, as Justas is in 3rd. Toxic bangs in the new fastest lap of the race as well. He's just ahead of Hardy out on track, I believe, and Hardy's actually had a really good performance in 5th, but will now spawn back onto this train as Neil, Lando, Kublai, Rocco, Name Changer, Alphatrix and D. Daniel all now fight out for 6th down to 12th.
Going up the inside, coming into the corner, and they make contact! The 2 rivals fighting for second position on circuit. Now they're still going to keep going here, coming in towards the second sector. And Justas blitzed everything down the straight, and he's trying to sneak up the inside here. Coming now through the corner, M Short hangs on into second.
Just about, but I tell you what, Justas is up for the fight. I think Montana's probably instructed him to try and go for the move. He is really desperate to try and get past, but when there comes desperation, there comes aggressive driving, and Justas has just got to calm that down, I think, from that respect. I don't think, actually, he's going to have a chance at M Short running down the straight. He has dug himself into his own grave, if I've got to be honest there. He will not get second position out on track unless M Short picks up a puncture. In the meantime, Montana is coming around the final couple of corners out on track. Everyone's still within that DRS train further down the field. They're just coming onto the final DRS straight out on track before the end of this race. Montana, though, leading around the final couple of corners through 20 and 21. It is going to be supreme driving once again from Montana. He knows he's going to win. He's got 2 more corners to go through 22 and 23. Montana is your winner in Singapore. The fireworks light up the night sky, and he wins for the 2nd time in a row, 3 times this season. M Short in second. Justas try to go for the move down the inside. inside line. He probably let Shaw have the position in the end. Over-aggressive racing from the Lithuanian, if I've got to be honest. And like I said, I think he dug himself into his own grave, if I've got to be honest, trying to go attempt for that move. Neil, by the way, across the line in 6th. Lando will drop down the field. Kumbly, Rocco, Name Changer, Alphatrix and D. Daniel go past. Name Changer up into 11th. Lando now down to 12th. Connor will finish in 13th. Kuka Games, by the way, is just ahead. It's actually Kuka Games has crashed. I think he was trying to do a donut. There we go. Now he's doing a donut out on track, but he has lost his front wing. Connor across the line to finish in 13th. Sweet Crown is going to be coming across the line to finish in 14th as well. Kuka Games still going with them donuts. It's less if he's won the race, but he hasn't. He's going to pick up no points. Sweet Crown across the line to finish in 14th. Disappointing from him as Kuka Games now, hopefully, he has got enough room to try and do those donuts. Otherwise, he's going to be ending up with the slowest crash in Singapore in history.
Yeah,
I'm just prepared for it.
He's hitting the walls. He's not having a good session of doing donuts. He might get one off here. No, he's gonna brush the. No, this is
no.
It's embarrassing now, Cookie. Come on, man.
It's even worse now that I've gone back on board with him while he's doing this. So all of these donuts are going down in. There we go. One. He's got a few going on there, and now he tries to recover the car, I think, but those sides are going to be absolutely shot. He's still going out on track. Goodness me. I'm going to cut off board him. Luckily, there is a massive building in his way, so people can't see and get dizzy while watching him. But he's still doing... He is slowly making his way to the line while doing donuts, which is the craziest thing I think I've ever seen in Singapore, certainly in any race. Maybe he's doing 100 donuts for me being my 100th commentary. Who knows? How many can you count up because of that? Kuka Games comes across the line and finally finishes in 17th.
Yeah, well, 17th for Kuka Games. Going to be a day to forget for him, but for Montana, the gap now coming up to the break week. It is 10 points between Montana and Short. The battle lines have been drawn, the gloves are off, and we're going to have a brilliant championship fight for the remaining 7 rounds of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be a right ding-dong battle out on track, but to the top step of the podium for the 3rd time this season is Montana. Our current champion here in League of Europe takes his 3rd win of the season and defeats M. Short, but M. Short, crucially, still in 2nd position, and Justas in 3rd as well. M. Short still leads the championship going into next week, ahead of Montana by 10 points, as Dan has said. But we now go into the final grid order out on track. There might be penalties afoot for a few guys out on track, but we should see the order now. Montana wins from M. Short in 2nd, from Justas in 3rd. Good drive from him. Verstappen in 4th with Hardy in 5th. Neil 17th on the grid up to 6th. His best performance of the season by far. Kumbly in 7th with Rocco in 8th. Alphatrix in 9th. Daniel in 10th. Name Changer in 11th from 19th on the grid. Good performance from him. Lando in 12th. Connor 13th. Sweet Crown 14th. Campbell, Toxic, Kuka Games all finishing 15th, 16th and 17th. Jajo and Yul Bream are the 18th and 19th runners. I am going to cut the stream short here because Division 2 and Division 5 have now started here. Division 1, of course, running over because of the lobby glitch that we had. Quickly, Dan, before we end, who was your top 3?
My top 3? Well, I'm going to go with...
sorry, your driver of the day. Your driver of the day.
I'll say I'm sure Montana and Justas. There we go. My driver of the day, I've got to give it to... I'm going to go with Hardy. You know, he had a really clean and tidy race, and he managed to pick up 5th position, and he was in 11th at the start, if I'm not mistaken. So he had a really strong one with the alternate strategy. He just kept it nice and tidy, and he pulled a very strong gap from the huge train at the back, and that really helped him in this one. So he's going to be my driver of the day.
Yeah, M. Short, by the way, and Justas having a bit of a choice word battle between themselves in Discord. I'm sure that will rage on, and we'll give you any updates, of course, in terms of the steward's office next week. Well, not next week, the week after, in 2 weeks' time. Happy Easter, everyone, from all of us at League of Europe, by the way. We will be back, of course, next week. However, if you are more prone to tune in for Formula 2, we're still going through the Easter break, and that means I'm going to be joined by Michael Edwards on Monday for Division 1. Division 2 is Matthias and Killer Blue, I think, if I'm not mistaken, who commentate you through the action, of course, last week as well. But for myself and Daniel Field, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe in this crazy world we all live in. And until next time, Goodbye.